here we are in Ancona,
Yeah.
the convention number 4.
Yeah.
Here days
Yes.
and
Alphabetic, David?
because it's hard for me to say your name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
it's a long
change
one.
it in
It's a long
Italian.
one.
It's super difficult.
Yeah.
Today we talk about style. So, what do you think? It's the hardest part to find your own style.
For me, it is kind of hard to stand out. Like Jason was saying, like for a normal client, you're not gonna really tell. You know, all the styles might look the same, but to try to stand out from so many different lettering artists is kind of a challenge, and you need to find a way to do that, to stand out.
It's definitely harder because so many are doing lettering now, but I think it's good because it makes you want to do, like, you want to be special. Everybody's special, of course, but you want to create your own style. So I think it's good to have this kind of amount different styles because it gives you also inspiration. So, and I think from there you start to get involved. You make the evolution of your own style. You see different styles, and of course the styles you like, you will pick it up, and maybe you get some ideas from it, and then I think you create your own style at some point. So
do you think that background, like graffiti, like drawing when you was child, is important to involve it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to have a passion for it. Anybody that's going to excel and get forward at a high level needs to be in their blood. You know, it has to be something that you live and you breathe. And graffiti and lettering in all different types of forms, not just tattooing, is important to keep that creativity going. And you also kind of find your own style, mixing all of those different elements into your tattoos. So for me, I like to blend some of my graffiti elements into the tattooing, but still a lot of elements from like sign painting and traditional like stone lettering and things like that. So yeah, blending them all together is important.
I think it's also like the base, you know, the classic styles, the old English, the script. It's just the basic style, and from there you grow. You know, you put maybe some little bit graffiti elements into it. But I think like with graffiti, you understand flow, and because of doing graffiti, you're creating a flow, or you're understanding what they mean with flowing. And then with the lettering, when you add it a little bit more flow, it looks way more dynamic for me. So you have like the guys, for example, Sam Taylor, who's doing the Baroque style. Yeah, he's really flowing it, you know. So I like when you put a little bit graffiti influence into the classic style. It really brings it to life, I think.
Yeah, it's cool to like, you know, you can paint a wall, but then once you are tattooing on a human, the shape of the body can kind of dictate the shape of the letter. And like that's important, having movement and having flow in the tattooing as well. But once you start to draw on a real person, like, you know, their natural body lines are going to make that for you. It kind of forces you to think of new ways to shape your letters, or new ways to kind of shade or bend or anything.
Do you think also that being influenced from the trend and from other artists, it helps you, or it's a kind of situation that maybe changed too much what it's your style?
I think you can learn from it. Like sometimes when you're like tattooing on persons, and the body is sometimes you can do something on paper and it looks really well, but when you put it on the body, sometimes it looks totally different because of the shape of the body. So I think if you see somebody else doing a thing like, okay, now I understand why he does it like that because of the type of the body, I think that's going to make you understand something. So it definitely is a win-win. I mean, you see it and you will find a solution for your problem that you had early on a client, for example.
Yeah, I think it's good to get inspiration from other artists for sure, because there's obviously so many artists here, and everybody does something slightly different. So yeah, you can work out some problems or get some inspiration. But I still think like originality is going to be important. So anybody that is tattooing or trying to stand out in their own style, like you still want to maintain like, hey, I have my own thing. You don't want to just like be like, oh, hey, they're doing this technique, now I'm going to do this technique. But it can provide you thinking outside of the box and being like, oh wow, hey, they're doing this differently. Maybe I can do something differently too. You know.
Another thinking that sometimes I find when I meet artists outside of tattooing, that being alone in a room for a month maybe helps to, you know, settle all the information you get.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I can understand if you were like focusing on things you want to focus on. It helps you. I think every time after a convention, I'm fully full with energy. Like I have to step up. I have to do more because damn, I'm feeling one of the last of all of the artists. But that's a good thing, of course, because then you are approving your work. So I think it's a good thing that you, for example, if I don't draw too much, my inspiration goes down. So I think you have to draw, or you have to do it for a couple of months to find your own thing or find some solutions, whatever. I think it's important, yes.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, you come to these conventions and there's so many amazing artists. We're all networking, we're all chatting, and it's really inspiring. It is a lot of information to take in, and you get that energy. And it's good to go back home and settle in and, like you said, kind of do that drawing and refining and work out all of that information that you took in. And it always makes me feel like I step up after coming to these things, because you want to work out all of those new things that you want to learn and step up your game and get to a new level too. I love coming to these things, bro.
It's happened something that let you understand that you made something that is unique in your career. A moment that you say, okay, I'm doing my style.
At some point, but it only lasts for a just a more like okay, and then it's like no man, okay. I have to step up again because everybody is evolving, of course. But it's a good thing; it keeps you going. If you are like okay, and now I'm settled, or you know what I mean, then it goes down again. So it always has to be like this, you know. You have to
level up.
Yeah, level up all the time.
Yeah, you never want to stay stagnant.
No. I mean, I'm jealous at artists who are like doing the same thing for years, like solid things, like it always looks good. But for me personally, it's all the time about evolving. Like you see my style sometimes change a little bit because for me I need to change. For me, if I stay the same, for me it doesn't last too long before I have the feeling like okay, no, it's boring.
It's cool to like. You also have like certain things where you might look at somebody's letter and be able to tell, be like, oh yeah, hey, Jason did that tattoo, or hey, I did that tattoo, or anyone else. And there's certain little things that you can pick up, and I think it's cool to like have almost like a signature, have things where you can really pick out and recognize that tattoo, but also keep it changing. You know, you might apply those same signatures to a brand new style, but it's still recognizable to your own in that sense. You know?
You told about one thing, that there is some artists that makes the same things for years. But do you think that probably it's because they took from someone else,
sure,
and they just reproduce in different way the style of some other?
Maybe.
So they cannot evolve because it's not from themselves.
Yeah, that's maybe, but I think you see it directly. I think when someone does that, it's they're gonna stick to how do you say it? Like they're not evolving. So I think you see it when someone does the same thing all over again, time and time. It's maybe. You're not gonna evolve, so you're gonna stick to the same thing. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's just when he has like a classic style or like a solid style, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that for me personally.
Yeah, kind of going back to like some of those signatures and stuff. I think it's really good to learn from other artists and be inspired by other artists. But there is a big difference between inspiration and plagiarism. You know, if somebody has something that it's like, wow, you can really recognize they did that tattoo. That's something that they've really worked on. They've really they've developed that style. You know, guys. Yeah, like there's a ton of guys that have something like that. And if you just go in and you say, oh, hey, I like that, I'm going to take that. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to evolve. You're just kind of reproducing and plagiarizing. But if you get inspired from those things and say, oh, hey, how can I learn from that? How can I take that and apply it to my own work instead of plagiarizing it? Then you level up. You know.
I also think when you are reaching a certain quality, it's okay to like people want to have that. You know, the thing that you do. So I think when you're reaching a certain point that you're like maybe satisfied about the things that you make, it's okay. It's okay for me actually. It's solid. It's good.
But what do you think about this kind of event, or like yours, the Limburgia Tattoo Convention, where all the artists are together, eating together, stay together? What's help for the style, for developing your things?
For me, as an organizer of a convention, for me this is crazy to see, because the amount of artists, it's like huge. In Limburgia we don't have that a possibility. We have like a certain, I think 150 artists is the maximum that we can install. But for me that's enough. For me that's because then you create a smaller community feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but also here you have it. You have the Lato guys sitting on one road, even spread up a little bit. But you have also with other artists, different styles, you have a connection. I really like Ancona convention, really convention.
Yeah. And what do you think?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really organized towards the art.
Yeah.
Broken Script Gang booth, Geometra booth. There's a lot of different styles that are heavily represented here, and it's, you know, there's quite a few artists here, but it's a lot different from a lot of the conventions in the USA. It's a lot more geared towards the artistry and the connection and the networking and you know, elevating your art. Whereas in America it can be a little bit more commercial, more about the money, more about, hey, how many tattoos are we going to do, rather than connecting with the artist and bringing that together. So coming out here and doing these types of shows is really good for that. It's really a great opportunity to connect with all these different artists and learn and kind of teach as well.
Do you think that still paper, graffiti, tattoos, going around, walking, traveling, eating, it's something that can help?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Definitely. I'm not here to make money, to be sure. I'm just here for the connection. For me, it's like a sort of vacation, you know? It's a gathering of nice people with different styles, nice styles, and you have the same passion, you know, so you share things, and it's like a family feeling. So I like it here. I really like Ancona.
I think the walking around and just seeing everything and actually taking in your surroundings is so important. I get so much inspiration from lettering outside of tattooing that I think is really important to find. So again, you're not just reproducing, you're finding things outside of it. So for example, I'll go and wander around cemeteries or graveyards, and there's so many different types of beautiful styles of lettering. You can study the stonework, the shadows, the filigree, all of those things. There's so much inspiration all around us that if you look for it, you can take in.
Also, the new generation, you see something different from the past?
For me, personally, the young guys, full of energy. I love it. It gives me energy. The young guys give me energy to do it. You know, they make me feel young again. They make me feel 25 again. No, but I really like the energy of the young guys. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, they're killing it.
They're killing it. Love it.
Yeah.
Do you see difference between America than Europe? Other scene?
In the styles or?
In the style?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's kind of regional styles. I think, you know, there's guys in Chicago that do their own style. There's guys on the West Coast that do their own style. Here, there's a lot of blending. I see like a pretty heavy graffiti influence out here. That seems to be a pretty popular one. Yeah, it's all lettering, but it's different in the same sense.
Do you also make graffiti?
Yeah. That's how I started back home. I picked up spray cans when I was like 15 years old and fucking around in my crazy city of St. Louis. It's pretty popular there too. We have a big graffiti jam every year. So that was always really inspiring. Like 200 artists come and paint this whole big wall in downtown St. Louis. So yeah, graffiti has always been a big part of my life and an inspiration in my tattooing as well.
And you?
For me, sorry,
If you do graffiti too?
yeah, I'm doing graffiti too. For me, if I see I already see the difference between the north of Europe and the south of Europe. Like for me, Italy and Spain are like the leading countries when it comes to lettering. Chicano maybe, Chicano style. So in Belgium, the lettering is less, way less. So that's why I'm also organizing with maybe a little bit more lettering artists than all of the rest. So yeah, for me, the graffiti is a big important thing in the lettering style, for sure.
I would say also like the scale. Like a lot of the European artists, like they're doing lettering on like a huge scale, doing full backs, full torsos, which we do a lot of that back home too. But I definitely see a lot of it out here. Yeah, just trying to step up that scale.
Then it's too different from calligraphy, tattooing, and graffiti, or sometimes those three can mix the styles.
Sure, I think you have a guy from Amsterdam who started to do like the calligraphiti. You know, it's a shoe. For me, he's one of the founders of calligraphiti, and he just also think outside of the box. You know, you have certain rules with calligraphiti or with lettering, especially the classic ones. You have like certain rules you have to follow, but he put aside the rules and he just do his own thing, and you see directly the flow and stuff. And then I think you have inside of the lettering, you have like the lettering, the Chicano lettering, you have the calligraphy lettering. So there are different aspects in the lettering stuff. So I really like it. So, but it now all comes together, you know. It's beautiful to see, you know, the influence of different styles, but still it's lettering, you know. I like it. Continue?
Yeah, I see a lot of the styles blend for sure. For me personally, it's kind of interesting because I do paint graffiti, but my style of tattooing has some of those elements in some tattoos, but it's also very inspired by like sign painting and legibility. Being able to read the tattoo is very important to me. So I still like to do some of the bends, some of the drips, some of the things that are inspired from some.
Especially
from
the
graffiti.
drips are hot. The drips are hot.
Yeah, the drips are banging right now. But I still like to have it be a sound tattoo. You know, it still has that letter base. You know, from a Roman
always
letter.
Has to be the base. Otherwise, it's still got like calligraphy. You know, it still has certain rules that you have to follow. You cannot put inside. You can put the rules inside, but there is a base that you need to have to do the lettering. You know.
I think you need to learn how to you need to know the rules, learn the base, learn that structure
Before you play with it.
Yeah, before you break them.
Sure.
You got to learn how to break those rules properly to be like, oh wow, your tattoos stand out. Like you're doing something different, but you still have to have that basic structure. You know.
And you think that all of the artists know that?
Yeah, here for sure. I see like everybody has, like I said, when you start, you have certain rules that you first have to learn before you play with it. So and I see a lot of people did their homework, they study. You know, I think a lot of artists should do more of that, like study their thing. You know, definitely it's going to improve everything. I see it in Belgium. A lot of people are just tattooing for the money, and you know, it's you see it directly. You know, when they did their homework, yes or no, you see it. And I see here almost everybody did their homework. everybody. So high level here, high level.
Yeah. The artists that are here, definitely, they're all selected. They all know what they're doing. There's a ton of different styles represented as well. Yeah, man, it's cool to see.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
See you in the next edition.
Sure. Hey, it's 20 minutes on top.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, bro. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Cool, bro.
Yeah, man.